चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are reading from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm going to be like summarizing chapters. Oh, wait, we are ending with 4 and starting chapter 5. So basically, we saw Hiranyakashipu's power. He started terrorizing everyone, and his influence was so powerful. After Brahma left, Hiranyakashipu's envy and all the triggers came back. Sometimes when we are in the temple, in the association of devotees, everything is very nice. And then when we go and be with our mind alone, then the mind goes crazy and then gives all crazy thoughts. That's what happened to Hiranyakashipu. So he became, of course, bodily, he became very lustrous, his shining body, but his envy was growing and growing and growing inside. So no amount of tapasya calmed down his negative emotions, because unless we want to subdue negative emotions, we will only increase them. So Hiranyakashipu's influence was so powerful, he conquered all directions, all planets. All the 3 worlds were under him. Human beings were under him. The demigods were under him. The nagas or the serpents were under him. Even Garuda and all the celestial beings were under his control. So he had his control. He seized that power, not by love but by force. Then he went to heavenly planets and he kicked out Indra. Mahendra Bhavana means Indra's abode. He kicked out Indra, and then he took the place of Indra. Then he started enjoying all the opulences and all the gardens and celestial personalities, all the ladies and all the opulences of coral steps that was made of coral, and the floors were all bedecked with emeralds, and this is in Swargaloka. And the walls were all made from crystals, and all these big pillars and columns, they were made from rare gemstones, and they had all these beautiful canopies. Perfect interior design you can ever imaginable. Then all these seats that they would sit on were bedecked with rubies, and all the silk, soft and very nice silk clothing, and all the cushions were so soft. By the way, Hiranyakashipu literally means, Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft pillow. So he was addicted to women, and he was addicted to sleeping. He was addicted to wealth and opulence. And yeah, so continuing, the heavenly planets were decorated with pearls, and women were very, very beautiful teeth. Because sometimes you may see women who don't have a teeth and they smile. Not that kind of women. These women were extremely beautiful faces, very pleasant, very beautiful smiles. It's nice to be surrounded by beautiful people, right? So he had all these women walking around with ankle belts twinkling, tinkling melodiously. They were all looking at themselves in the reflection of all these gems and everything. They could see themselves and they would adjust themselves. So all these things were very pleasant environment. Then he just oppressed all the devas, all the powerful personalities. He made everyone bow to his feet. Made all these Indra and Chandra and Varuna, all these personalities. Ekarata, he wanted to be the dictator. That's why the word dictator, like when we talk about Hitler and Putin now, they are all like dictators. There is no question of team effort. Nobody else is allowed to become empowered. They are the only ones. And then Chandasasana means Hiranyakashipu was doing, which means he chastised these people with no reason. Sometimes even in religious organizations, we may become preachers, speakers, and then people start coming, following, and then we also make them afraid of us. Don't do this, don't do that. Fear-based leadership. This is Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was the founder of this this kind of culture. Then even the higher planetary systems, the people were feeling very disturbed. There was all their, even there, everything is sattvic, right? But very pious. But because of Hiranyakashipu, nobody was able to be peaceful. Nobody could enjoy what they had, and they became, like we can see in this purport. Prabhupada says in the purport that this shows that even in the heavenly planets, pain is inevitable. So in this Brahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravartino Arjuna, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that whether you're in this Bhuloka or you go to Swargaloka where there is opulences and etc., in this material world, there is one or another type of calamity. There's one or another type of suffering. So even great personalities can be controlled by demons, as we can see. One demon controlled the whole demigods and everybody's miserable there. That's the idea in this. The chapter ends with how intoxicated Hiranyakashipu was, and that he made everyone worship him. Because why did he become so? How did he become so powerful? Because of tapas. Austerity gives us strength. Then with that strength, we can utilize it to gain whatever it is that we want. He had tapa, he had yoga, he had bala, and he had ojas. Tapa is austerity. Yoga means all the physical niyama, all the things that he was performing, discipline, chanting mantras, breath, all that gives us shakti, gives us physical power. Then he had also sensual strength. And then he had ojas. Ojas means aura. All his chakras were complete alignment, we can say. So all these things shows that no matter how perfect our body is, no matter how perfect our mind is, no matter how strong we feel, how young we are, no matter how much our chakras are in very perfect alignment and we are vibrating with positive energy, it's nothing in front of a little tinge of envy. It can destroy everything. It can make us like demons. So except Brahma, Shiva. Oh. Hey, listen, you have the key, right? Sorry, just a minute. You have the key? Yeah, it's there. I don't take it. You'll be here. You'll be here. So, except Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, all the other demigods were controlled. All other people were controlled by him, and they were offering obeisances, except Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Of course, they didn't offer obeisances to Hiranyakashipu. So everybody was offering prayers, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, even I think even Narada Muni. Yeah, he says that. Yeah, Narad Muni says that even I was also saluting. Like imagine some officer comes. So even Narada, Vidyadharas, Apsaras, sages, everybody was like. So this again shows that somebody may come in power, somebody may have power, position, fame, they may have titles, but it's not permanent. It doesn't last forever. So we shouldn't think that power is something good. Then he also took all the Havir Bhaga and all the offerings that the other yagyas were done. He took, even by people who were very great brahmanas offering properly through Varnashram, he took all of it. Then he started controlling the nature. He started to control Mother Earth. He held her at gunpoint, so to speak. He just said, if you don't flow the way I want, I will kill you. And he started to torture even Surabhi cow. Cows, he was telling the cow, supply unlimited milk. Unlimited means abundant, as much as he wanted. So everybody was scared, and they were all giving in one sense. That's why material opulence doesn't necessarily mean it's auspicious. It could happen even like this, that they were all afraid and terrorized and therefore giving. It is mentioned that Surabhi cow, she got so tortured and affected. When we read Prithu Maharaj also, when she is not giving milk, Prithu Maharaj goes and says, why are you not producing, sorry, not a cow, he approached Bhumi Devi. Why are you not producing? And she said, because people have exploited me so much, I'm traumatized. So this is, see, Hiranyakashipu was traumatizing her. Then what else? The seven oceans, the ocean of salt, wine, ghee, sugarcane, yogurt, milk, sweet water. all these universes also started supplying lots of precious things, gems, everything, the mountains, valleys, everybody became his servant. All the personalities, trees and plants started producing fruits and flowers, and not during the season, even unseasonally they started profusely giving in all seasons. He alone was performing all the functions of all the devatas. He was completely in control, in charge. Imagine in a company, the CEO, he will manage everything. He's the board member, he's the boss, he's the board member, he's the treasurer, he's the administrator, he's in HR, he is the sweeper. Sweeper, I don't think he was doing that work, but you get the idea. He was taking care of all functions. He was not taking care, he was controlling all the functions. Yet, it's the point, verse number 19, chapter 4. Yet, in spite of controlling all these things that I just mentioned, all directions, enjoying all kinds of sense gratification, he was dissatisfied due to ajitendriya, due to uncontrolled senses. Sa ittam nirjita kakub ekarad vishayan priyan yatopajasam bhunjanyo na triptyad ajitendriya. So he became so dissatisfied because it's like the black hole for him. No matter how much he was feeding that power and pleasure, he just wanted more and more and more. It was never enough. So like this, a lot of time passed. Aishwarya Matta, he became Matta means Matta means crazy or addicted, you can say. Aishwarya Matta means become addicted to that pleasures. Like when somebody is drinking, they become addicted, they can't stop drinking. Like that, he became Aishwarya Matta. Then he didn't follow any, I forget scriptures. Initially, no, he was having that ojas, tejas and all that. But eventually he stopped following any scriptures completely. Shastra Vartina, completely neglected Shastra. Then he became, then that curse of Kumara's could work on him to make that. Then the Devatas, they approach Lord Vishnu for protection. Wait, where am I? Yeah. They all go to Lord Vishnu, they ask him to help. And then the Lord says, I shall stop Hiranyakashipu's evil acts, which are known to me. Just be patient. I will appear. Don't worry. So then he says, when Hiranyakashipu will come and bother Prahlad, Nirvaira means the one who doesn't have enemy. He's Prashanta, he's peaceful, he's great Mahatma. Then all these benedictions of Brahma will become useless because I'll kill him. Why? Because he will commit Vaishnava Aparadha. So Vaishnava Aparadha is like that mad elephant which will ruin the forest. So they assure, don't worry, I'm coming. So then we see they all get pacified finally. Then how do they get pacified? Let me share my screen. So we know the background. The background is that Narad Muni, he had already imparted Vedic knowledge. He had already imparted Vedic knowledge to Kayadu. Kayaduaga Putraratnavannu Padedalu. So that gem of a personality that was born out of Prahlad Maharaj, out of Kayadu was Prahlad Maharaj. So I would like to quote Bhajan, which describes that functioning, what happened. Right? Namakaranam, how does it begin? Kayaduaga Putraratnavannu Padedalu. ನಾಮಕರಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ವಿಪ್ರರನ್ನು ಕರೆಸಿ ಬೇಗ ದೈತ್ಯ ತನ್ನ ಸುತಗೆ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದನೆಂದು ಕರೆಸಿದನು. ನಾರಸಿಂಹನೆಂಬ ದೇವನು ನಂಬಿದಂತ ನರರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ವರವ ಕೊಡುವನು. ನಾರಸಿಂಹನೆಂಬ ದೇವನು ನಂಬಿದಂತ ನರರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ವರವ ಕೊಡುವನು. So this Narasimha deity who just promised, Krishna has promised to the Devatas that he's going to appear, and Prahlad Maharaj has just taken birth, the gem, the treasure of a personality. And Hiranyakashipu, by the way, he had 4 sons. Among all of the sons of Hiranyakashipu, the best was Prahlad. Even Hiranyakashipu loved Prahlad the most because he was a reservoir of all good qualities. Anybody who wants a son would want a son like Prahlad Maharaj. So what we see in these chapters, description of Prahlad Maharaj, is very relevant for all of us, because by meditating on the good qualities of Prahlad, you'll find it we'll find in the 5th canto also, you'll find the 5th canto, 18th chapter, the devotee of Krishna is endowed with all qualities, both material and spiritual qualities. We'll see that verse, very nice, and that is defined in Prahlad Maharaj. Brahmanyaya, he is very qualified as a Brahmana, he is very devoted to spiritual knowledge. Sheela Sampanna, he is endowed with that good character. Satya Sando, he's very determined to understand the absolute truth. And he's very true to his promise. Jitendriya, he has full control over his mind and his senses. Atmavat Sarva Bhutanam Ekapriya Suhrita. Means he is just like Paramatma in our heart. He is kind to everyone. Even a great devotee is very kind to all beings. And then he is Dasavat Sannataryangrihi. Dasavat Sannataryangrihi. It means he is so surrendered to the wise people, just like a menial servant. This is also another proof of security. If somebody is very secure, we don't feel bad or inferior or insecure to surrender. So Prahlad Maharaj was very secure internally. So externally, he didn't mind when he found someone wise. What is that song? There is a beautiful bhajan in Kannada. It says, Sajjanara munde enna mana kalisayya. Means in front of wise personalities, no, opposite. In front of materialistic people, let me not look very showy and all my opulences and all make me look like an idiot in front of materialistic people. But Sajjanara, in front of wise people, let me be a fool so I can learn more, so I can be like humble, so I can be very menial. That's Prahlad Maharaj. Then Pitruvat Dhinavatsalaha. So he was very kind, just like a very kind father. He was very kind to people. He was never judgmental. He was never critical. So even Hiranyakashipu was in love with Prahlad. He was such a person. Everybody loved him. Just a personality that you just cannot hate. And he was so affectionate. Bhratravat Sadrisha Snigdho. It means that he's so affectionate that he would see all the people. He would like consider all the boys like an equal. He was never like, I know better. Never. He was so sweet. Gurusva Ishvara Bhavanaha. So he would consider gurus and senior devotees or senior people as God. And he was completely endowed with perfect education. There's a word for that. Let me remember. Vidyartha. Yeah. So Vidyartha Rupa Janmadhyo means he was not just material education, material, spiritual education, wealth, beauty, and good birth. He had the complete perfect combination of all that. And then Manastamba Vivarjitaha. He was completely free from pride and unsubmissiveness. Which one? I don't know.
Last point, Prahlad, that was just one before.
Oh, Guru Shva Ishvara Bhavanaha, that one, respectful to Guru, seeing them as good as the Lord.
Afterwards.
Oh, that one. Vidyartha Rupa Janmadhyo. It means that he was endowed with education, both spiritual and material education, wealth, beauty, and all that. Okay, so that's one part of Prahlad Maharaj's glorification of his qualities. And it begins another very beautiful section which reveals when Hiranyakashipu was throwing him from the mountain, bettadinda katti urudisi, asura tanna pattadani kalali mettisi. So he started to torture Prahlad in various ways, throwing him down from the mountain, etc. So when he asks Prahlad to say, even when he was teaching Vidyaramba, so Hiranyakashipu says, Om Namah Shivaya Yanutali Asuratanna Sutana Baredu Toru Yandaga. ನರಹರಿಯ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ನಗು ನಗುತ್ತಲೆ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತಿರಲು ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ. So he was saying, Hiranyakashipu was saying, right, Om Namah Shivaya. And Prahlad Maharaj very peacefully wrote Om Namo Narayanaya because that's his education. His education was so strongly, established in him that he was so unaffected. That's the next part of qualities it comes at. Nodvigna chitta vyasaneshu. Nodvigna chitta vyasaneshu means unagitated when put into dangers. So whether it was simple danger like Prahlad was thrown off the lap of the father when he didn't write what Hiranyakashipu wanted, or being thrown off a mountain, all these little agitations, he would not bother him. He was not. Chitta vyasaneshu, and this word is it's in verse number 33 of the 5th chapter. This word we should remember, chitta, right? Nodvigna chitta vyasaneshu. I like this word because later Prahlad Maharaj will say why. He answers the questions in the later chapters. He says, Naivodvijay Paraduratyaya Vaitaranya. No, one side here is unagitated. In the other verse, he says why he's not unagitated, because he's so fixed on Krishna's will. May Krishna's will happen. He's so fixed on it. He's so absorbed in it. He says all these things don't affect me. So I like that word, no vigna chitta vyasaneshu. And he says magna chitta. Later in the later verses, Prahlad Maharaj uses the same words to answer the question of how was it possible, because he says he's putting his mind always on the will of the Lord. He's putting his mind in glorifying the Lord. And absorption and Magna chitta. Magna is like, Magna means like Hiranyakashipu was addicted to sense pleasure. Prahlad was addicted to Krishna's will, Krishna's names and forms and qualities and will. I think will combines all of that. He was so addicted to Krishna's will to prevail that he never questioned why mere sath ye aisa kyun ho raha hai, mere sath ye aisa kyun ho raha hai. Never he would think. Then there's other word, very nice word, Nisprasha Srishteshu Drishteshu Guneshva. Means he was not desiring to hear, see any other sense objects other than what was going to serve the Lord. He wasn't interested in anything else. And Avashtu Drik. And he also saw the world as insubstantial. That's also important. When we think, oh, why it's not happening as I want, if that thing, it becomes so important that it can take over my mind, then what's the point? Like today, the Prabhuji very kindly, temple president, we were going to the police station and all, they're saying, are you okay? You're not very disturbed. And because the other day also I was giving class, I say, oh, you're still giving class. I say, if I don't give class, the mind will think about something else, to think about my passport day and night. So what's the point? So the point is to understand that, okay, that's one little part. It's not everything in my life. So yes, many plans will change, many things will going to affect, but it's not my life. My life is what Krishna wants. Then I decided to say something like, Kalatsanji has kidnapped me. That's like the conclusion. So I say, better to become Magna Chitta in the Lord's context than to become absorbed in our context. And that's how Prahlad was doing it. That's how he was able to do it. And that's why when later when Sanda and Amarka, we'll do that another, I want to give another talk about like another synopsis about the education system, education we have in ISKCON, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and how Prahlad, he was not taking association, he was giving association. We'll do a whole talk maybe tomorrow about it. But the point being, Prahlad Maharaj was able to nurture and nourish all those teaching that he learned from Narad Muni. He always controlled his senses. He didn't give up to demoniac lifestyle. Dantendriya prana sharira dihi sada means he always controlled his senses, by body, life, air, like he would probably do pranayama, and he was controlling his intelligence. And prashanta kama, he subdued all his lusty desires. So it doesn't say that he didn't have, of course he was 5-year-old boy, okay, let's remember that. but also it's the intention of not that he doesn't have any. He was affected, but he wouldn't let it because he would replace it. So we need, I can't just tell my mind, don't think about this, don't think about a white elephant, don't think about a white elephant. It will think about a white elephant. But I have to give it an alternative. Say, think about Balaram, who is as white as snow. And then, so like that, we have to give an alternative to the mind. Rahita suro suraha. So this is the very important thing. Being like a lotus, being in the water but not off the water. So Prahlad was like that lotus. He was born in the demoniac family, but he was not demoniac at all. He did not have the greatest of the demoniac qualities. What is it? Who can guess? We've been talking about it. What is the greatest of the demoniac qualities?
Mataji, is it envy?
Yes, you got it. The winner is Komal. Thank you. So that is the greatest of quality. He did not have it. He did not harbor envy. Envy was not in his dictionary. I was watching some funny video. I mean, I think we don't have time to cover this whole section, so I will have to cover it tomorrow. Okay, I'll end with this story. Let me see how many verses more I have to cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I would have to do this next day because there is very nice words. I want to bring up all these Sanskrit words. Slokas it's so powerful, these Sanskrit words. It kind of catches us, Naveda Jagadidrisham. All this will come next. That is later. Okay, so there is a story I wanted to share. Not story, I saw like some video, random video. Some kind of movies thing, but the point is the person says something in this word is not in my dictionary, and then the lady, the heroine or whatever, she says like, where did you get this bakwas dictionary from? so, so sometimes we think, this word is not in my dictionary. Okay, then it's a useless dictionary. So Prahlad Maharaj's dictionary did not kind of have the word envy because he just didn't feel it. So anyway, just a play of words there. So let's take a couple of minutes to kind of see if anyone has any realizations. I'm sorry I kind of rushed through. I wanted to complete this chapter, but there's so many nice points about Prahlad that we can't just do it in one session. Naivo dvije paradurachaya vaitaranyas tadvirya gayana rasamritamagna chitta. Any points, any realizations? Otherwise, we can let Process Kali Mataji read the affirmation. Actually, time flies when you glorify Prahlad. Such a sweet personality. Prahlad comes again and again, he comes as Raghavendra Swami. I'll talk about it in the next talk. And then he comes as Vasudeva Datta. Qualities, very similar mood and mission. All right, so nobody seems to have any questions, so fine, we can end here.